A very pleasant good afternoon and welcome to the Pittsburgh Curling Club, located in beautiful Stowe Township, Pennsylvania. We are here for the 5 and Under World Championships. I'm Dave Schmel, joined by Trevor Matthew today, and we have two teams together here for their first draw of the event. We have throwing the Redstones, Team Lee, Jason Lee the skip, Howard Sider the vice, Mac Neaton throwing second, and Laura Hip throwing lead. And they'll be facing the Pan Asian team of Team Mewers, Queen of Mewers the skip, Jason Lee the vice, Jun Shui the second, and Ken Doan the lead. So both these teams are very established in the 500 circuit, and it was Team Mewers pinning both of their last stone draws to secure the hammer here, and that could be important as the pool play goes, because it'll be the top two teams from each pool qualifying to move forward. So Trevor, not Trevor. Yes, you are Trevor. Oh boy.
I am indeed. I am indeed.
You're just coming off the ice after a first game. It was really close effort there. You had it right there in range.
Competitive all the way through. Competitive all the way through. Took him to the eighth end. We were very happy with the ice out there and very happy with how we performed.
I do have the theoretical home ice advantage here in Pittsburgh. And we're just waiting for the last bit of mopping here. So this event is first of its kind. We've had the 500 Nationals happening here in the U.S. since 2018 with some time off for the pandemic in between. And now moving into a world event, this being an invitational event, I think, with 16 teams from different regions. Do you have any insight as to how those teams were put together?
I know they spent some time looking at who made it to their nationals last year from each country and tried to get invitations out to the teams that still had their 500 curlers available. A lot of those national teams went on to their sixth year and couldn't come, but everybody that we could get a hold of that still had their fifth year of eligibility was invited to come on out here.
Definitely a neat event because we've seen 5U curling really pick up here in the United States, and some parts of Canada are more ahead of others. I know that there's a cash spiel series in Quebec and also one in Ontario. I know in my 500 days I played in that up in Ottawa at the Royal Navy Curling Club at one point.
Certainly some very impressive 500 curling this morning. Every game across the sheets, within 1 point going into the eighth end.
And with it being Team Mewers with hammer, gonna have Lauren Hip deliver the first stone here for Team Lee. And we are underway. So we have Mac Neaton, Howard Sider escorting this first one down. The center guard is called for. We do have mics on both the skips. We'll bring them in so we can hear the strategy as we come along. That one is in the top four, so we're going to go, looks like about backline weight. Just to tap it back. This is Ken Doan. on this one hard to hold the line. It's going to come on up and come right to the nose, and we'll clear the opposition stone out the back.
Yeah, just enough weight there. Nice yeah, just enough weight there. Nice sweep by that skip to make sure they cleared that.
So we're going to go start trading hits here early. Hold on to that just fine. So it brings up our Pan Asian team here again. So they represent all different bits of countries, and skip Queen of Mewers. Girls out of the Orange County Curling Club, representing Chinese Taipei. In her 5th year of curling, was played twice in the 500ers Worlds. Sorry, Nationals rather. And lead Candone. Family is of a Vietnamese background. He is born here in the U.S. And here's Pittsburgh Curling Club's Jun Shui. She's thrown second on that team, so that squad. She just recently started curling. It's her 4th year. It feels like she's been playing longer than that, though. Really great story for the members here at the Pittsburgh Curling Club. Jun really hopped in with both feet and really started volunteering and really digging in to help this young club with their new dedicated ice. So it's been a lot of fun watching Jun become a curler. Now, her background is in figure skating. Didn't know if you knew that, Trevor. But I think that balance really helps her out.
Yeah, absolutely. You can tell just watching her slide. She's got that on ice balance down pat. June, one of those 5 under curlers who's less than 5 years experience. But curls about 7 days a week.
Yeah, you can find a way to do that. I certainly did that in my time. Still play a lot since I live only 5 minutes away from my home club. 4 hours and 45 minutes away from my second home club, which I'm sitting in right now. This one is hanging outside. It looks like that it was just set out a little bit there by McNeaton. So opportunity here for Team Mewers.
Looks like they're gonna go for the immediate strategy change here and start trying to set up an end.
They're gonna just go and split the house. Our friends up north might refer to this as setting up the junior deuce. Certainly a very sound strategy. Now, when you're at the top levels of curling, this would still be a little bit too early in the end to do that, because you have the risk of the big double takeout. This one needs to hang on to be any risk at all, and it is just on the back. So Red's going to have to pay attention to that, because it's out there. It's a fob just hanging on there. See there, as we look at the K&J Magnetics house, your source for the world's strongest magnetics. Visit kjmagnetics.com. Big supporter of the Pittsburgh Curling Club.
A good hit there. Made that slight roll over to the center just to try to start creeping their way over to the other edge of the sheet.
Yep, and now Jason Nee is just going to try to hit this straight on the nose. They're on on this one. They're holding it pretty well. It is starting to take the curl. Want to hang on. You want to sit 2 after this. Make contact, and it will skitter on over to the side of the forefoot. And they do indeed line 1-2 right there on the bottom of Mr. Magneto.
Side quest here at the Pittsburgh Curling Club. See if you can stick one right on Mr. Magneto's hand.
Shot here from Howard is just dead on the nose. Just looking to return the favor here. Now you do have to be conscious of the jam there in the back. Asking for control weight. Control weight generally is about a 10.5 second split between the 2 hog lines. Chin picks this up right out of his hand. They're going to get the hit. Watch the jam in the back. Will it jam? It does and clears. So we might be right back on that express train to a blank end. So now Jason Lee with his first rack. Of the first end, looking to make the hit here. Working hard to try to make it curl, or hold it rather. This is going to just slip on by. So we went from a blank end back to a deuce, probably. Queen of Mewers. Orange County Curling Club in SoCal. Has scored 2 8-enders in her career. In both the SoCal Curling Center and the brand new San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club in Oakland. Nice facility just opened. I was able to be out there this summer for the annual Golden Gate Bonspiel. First time I'd made it out there since they moved out of Sharks Ice in Fremont, now the home to the Silicon Valley Curling Club. And they draw this one pretty well even. Very tough angle for a double. So, really important here for Jason to bear down and just make this hit. It's not a tragedy if you give up 2 in the first end. You just don't want to invite a 3 literally out of nowhere.
Yeah, certainly you're thrilled if you make the double. You're thrilled if you make the double, but happy to clear one and limit the damage.
So here's Jason Lee with the southpaw delivery. This is going to be close for the double. It's coming on up. Going to catch just a little bit too much. Hit and not enough roll. So they do lie shot stone. It'll be a hit and stick for 2 for Queen of Mewers. Jason Lee will hold the broom. He also curls at both the Bay Area Curling Club and the Silicon Valley Curling Club. Interesting story of the curling club, those curling clubs, which we'll get into a little bit later if we have time. Right now, final stone of the first end on the way. This needs to curl up. Just gonna get a piece, hit, and roll out. Over your own, it will be a single point for Team Mewers, and they take the 1-0 lead after one here in Pittsburgh. And we're back here in Pittsburgh. It's the 5 and Under Worlds, hosted by USA Curling and the Pittsburgh Curling Club. It was Team Queen of Mewers with a single point and a little bit of a missed opportunity there, Trevor, for Queena.
Yes, certainly. Would have loved to just get that rock to curl another 2 inches or so and stick around. So often at the higher level, you might see an end flip on its head once, and at the 500 level, it can flip 2 or 3 times.
Certainly can. So the center guard is up. It is not on the center line. We are playing the no tick rule here. Corner guard attempt by Lauren Hipp does slide on into the rings. Queena wastes no time in ordering its immediate removal for non-payment of rent. Don't even get an eviction notice around here. It's just gone.
That's right. No friendly landlords here in Pittsburgh. You're out.
You want to stay in the house? I want rent. And there's a beautiful hit and roll undercover. Shot stone. Team Mewers. This stone from Lauren, just a little bit too hot. It's going to slide right on past everything and through the rings. So second end, the ice usually comes all the way up to speed in the second end. Both teams are going to try to get that dialed in. So here's a shot from Jen. This one also just a skosh heavy. Finds its way to the tee line, back to the 8, back to the 12, and gonna go just hanging on. It is a backbiter. here's McNeaton. Looking to make the run back. He's on the first one. It's going to coast over the top. It is still Team Mewers line 1-2. Guida wants that guard right back. And Trevor, how deep would you want that center guard?
From what I've seen, plenty of these teams capable of making some runbacks here. So I like it up in that 2 area.
It does come a little bit deeper, just about to a 3. Stone on the way from Neaton. It does catch that shot rock. Tips it on out, and it is just that lone back biter in there for Team Mewers. They will use that center guard and try to draw right on in. Come on into the party. So Jason D's going to try to find draw weight here. This one has no shortage of line. Weight isn't that bad. They are trying to get those last licks of curl in to get it just a little bit under cover. Edge on edge is pretty good. That's about where you'll end up. So decision time here for Lee, and he says there's not much of a choice to make. It's just going to come on down and take her out.
Really well placed there. Doesn't leave any sort of roll opportunity under that guard. So.
And this one is a pretty heavyweight. Not gonna have a chance to stick around. Does make contact, however, and make the called shot and roll on out. So once again, trying to get that draw in. Now, Trevor, how do you like to try to adjust after maybe just a little bit the draw, maybe just a little bit out?
Certainly, you're always thinking about your line and your handle and what you can do to make sure you're working in combination with your skip to figure out which one was a little off, and work together as a team to try to dial it in.
And that shot just does not find the mark. And here's a shot from Cider.
It's a good bump there on the back yellow. Make sure you're keeping the scoring area down.
Absolutely, it is in there. so Queen of Mewers. Gonna throw her first to two here in the second end. This one needs to finish just a little bit. They will come into contact and remove the stone out the back. Mewers sits one. Now Lee here trying to find this way to get to the skip stews here. I'm going to draw underneath of this first. First two on the way. This one needs to move on over. Now it's going to come over to be in front of their opponent's rock, and they are going to almost weld it on. Pretty good outcome there.
He almost made the freeze left that in a spot where it'd be pretty hard to try any sort of chip out.
Here's Mewers with her final of the second. Trying to get to the face of their opponent's rock. This has got to curl up to do it. It's gonna wick and roll off just a touch. They are shot stone, but are very exposed. So just a little down weight, tapping through. Will secure team leader deuce here in the second end. Emphasizing that it's important to miss in the proper side here if you're going to miss. Final stone the second.
Go hard then.
This one is way down weight. Gonna have to work hard to drag it there. To be on the forefoot just to get the one. Big work by the sweepers there to get that single. So we're all tied up at 2, 1-1. Viewers will have the hammer in 3 when we come back. back here in the third end. All tied up. Dave Schmel and Trevor Mathy here. It will be Team Mewers with the hammer here. In end number 3. The center guard is up. The second guard goes up. And now will be Team Mewers drawn around. That's clean. That's right. All right, so we think we've figured out what was causing the echo. We apologize for that. And Gavin, yes, you can get a fantastic magnet from K&J Magnetics. They are the purveyors of the world's strongest magnets. And magnets are both fun and cool. So now Queen is trying to figure out whether she wants to get rid of some of these opponent's stuns or say, you know what, they're there. We don't mind. Could be cover for us just the same. Force them to make that run back.
Yeah, it can always get a little nerve-wracking there when you start to see all those other teams' guards building up.
So here's June's draw. That turns nicely. Put the blinker on perfectly. He will drift just a skosh behind the tee line. Broom goes straight down for Jason Lee to try to follow it down. This one is hanging all the way on the outside. I'll slide on down to full 8. Queen is going to ask June to dispatch that with prejudice. You can catch all the games on our other 4-sheet wide broadcast, so you can keep track of all your favorite teams. We're also working to keep curlingzone.com updated with the scores, the hit, and just a little bit of a roll there for June. So now taking a look at the house there. What do you think of the angle on that double, Trevor?
Yeah, certainly makeable. Not sure if they're going to go for the double there or try the hit and roll themselves.
Stowing away from Howard Sider. This one started wide, stays wide, clips just the top one and over the top, only getting the one. One thing we noticed, we've seen plenty of curl, but once you apply weight to the rock, if you put any kind of little input out there, that bad release is going to be punished.
Yeah, we noticed similar this morning. Any sort of flick of the wrist is just enough to throw you offline. Those up weight hits, unforgiving.
The beauty, though, with the ice running as keen it is we can make a lot of shots. It also makes a lot of those draws fun to make. Good sweepers ice, and they're going to need to be good sweepers ice here. Can they get it past that guard? Yes, they do. Now, where is it going to settle? Comes right on down to the pot, and they lie 1-2. Weld it with acetylene. So now we see what's in Jason's mind.
Huh? Just go here.
Okay, instead of the run back, he's going to look to draw on down to the pile. Gonna have to move those Yellowstones at some point, so this being the second. From Howard Sider. The line's absolutely gorgeous on this stone. It's all a matter of is the distance right. And it's gonna come on down, do a little tippity tap. It is Mewers line 1, but Lee is threatening. So Jason Lee with his last. This is going to wreck on the guard. And I don't want to leave a way in. Ooh, and you just might have. Take a look at the overhead there. Trevor, what do you see?
Yeah, certainly looks like they've opened up just a slight window there with a downweight hit. They could get there.
The question is, you're going to move that yellow off the pin, but when you jam it, what's going to be shot? From where I'm sitting, it kind of looks like yellow is still shot even after you make contact with these.
Yeah, I would agree. It looks like even if you're able to make it, you can't throw enough weight to get them both out. So yellow very likely to still be sitting shot there.
Yeah, you see him taking broom all the way out there in the side of the 12-foot. So expecting about 4.5 feet of curl.
Hard to tell with those welded together whether Red's even second shot, so they might be happy to just tap it an inch just to make sure they're
Absolutely.
second.
So here's Jason Lee with his first of 2 in end number 3. They're going initially for weight, but this needs to catch a little bit of line. It is taking the break now. The line's probably pretty good. Just has to get there. Just doesn't have the legs to get there. So they do get that guard up there, trying to avoid the big end.
Yeah, so you got to imagine they think that Red is second shot, certainly, if that's their call.
So for it to get to here, where do we need a hit? Yeah.
So you see that they're entertaining the idea of running back the yellow here.
It's like here. I would say here is good. Okay.
Looks like they plan to draw around and make it throw a setup shot here if you can.
We're going to try to
freeze
tap our
onto
yellow, but it's better to be light than heavy. We're tapping. He'll tell you the line, but we're tapping mostly almost straight, just to the right of it. Preferably to, there is still a little bit of room on the button, but we'll see. This is really impossible, so. Back 8, wait.
Those are always good words you like to hear. That this, this is an impossible shot, but I'm going to try it anyway. So here's Quina on the way.
I like her confidence. Throw the impossible shot. Why not?
So here we're coming on down. We're dreaming the impossible dream, throwing the impossible stone. And she said the whole time the miss was light. It's a little narrow too. So, assuming Team Lee liked the guard the first time, they should like it again.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
We gotta take that away.
I'll just do it right here.
Yeah. Well, was I here last time, or was I?
Back here.
Well, we need there then, don't we?
Yeah, it's fine.
We
A
right
little
here.
wider is better than all.
Yeah, right here.
So definitely sounds like a guard again.
And we're going to continue the war of attrition here. Final stone for Jason Lee. Upcoming here in the third end. Just looking to nestle another guard in there. This one's starting to curl on him. Just to me, it didn't look like he really followed through on his release there and just kind of let it kind of float out of his hand.
Yeah, might have shorted the release there just a touch.
So Queen of Mewers is going to try to draw the side of the button for 2. As you can see there, you had to put it right in that very small section there. You got to have basically grab a bit of that little white circle, maybe an inch outside, but not much room at all to work. Final stone of the third end on the way. And this one is short and narrow, so it's going to be a single score of 1 for Team Mewers. They take a 2-1 lead after 3 at the 5 Under World Championship from the Pittsburgh Curling Club. Back here from the Pittsburgh Curling Club, it was a single score for Queen of Mewers. So the center guard coming up first. Pretty standard opening move here, and both teams have been just kind of exchanging jabs here in the early going.
Yeah, it seemed like both in the morning draw, and so far on all the sheets across this draw, that seems to be the pretty standard play for the most part, as everybody's just sort of going through this first round of the round robin, trying to feel each other out.
Taking a look at some of the other scores here. Over on sheet C, we have Team Rose with a 6-1 lead after 3 over Team Delamonte. We have a 3-1 lead for the Canadian team over Team Wysocki. And Bliven holds a 4-1 lead in their game. Back here, it's 2-1 in favor of Mewers. Lee from the Triangle Curling Club with the hammer here in end number 4. Now, Triangle Curling Club, they're in a nice 4-sheet dedicated facility located just a few minutes away from the Raleigh-Durham Airport. A hardy group of some Canadian expats and other folks who have really taken a liking to curling. That one takes a liking just to the back of the button.
Yeah, really nice rocks there from Ken Doan, the lead for Team Mewers. The perfect center guard and the perfect come around draw.
Second stone from Lauren Hippel in the way. This one's getting awfully tight to the guard. It's gonna just kiss it and leave more cover for their opponents, so it's Mewers. Line one under staggered cover, electing to stick another one right in the pile. So here's Jun Chui. And that one, they just waited a hair too long. It had the line and it just took off on him. And wrecked on the way through.
Yeah, it looks like they thought that one was maybe just a touch heavier than it actually was.
So now Mac Neaton didn't quite catch the call there, Trevor. Looks like it's maybe just kind of jostle the deck here a little bit.
Yeah, looks like certainly a hit weight on the way, but the skip right out of the hand saying he tossed it wide.
This is coming back. It's going to make contact with the top guy. Skitter the other guard in for sure. So it's Mewers shot stone. It's 2 and 3 belonging to Team Lee. Now, Queen of Mewers sees that big side there. On the intern side of June. Throwing that clockwise rotation, going to try to settle a second one in the house. This one is just a skosh heavy. That's more than a skosh heavy. It's at least a bit heavy. So you need to learn the empirical measures here.
Yeah, what is the technical difference between a bit and a skosh?
Well, a bit is more than a skosh, and a skosh is more than a hair.
Ah, understood.
And then if we bring in sliver, well then that involves a metric conversion. And then if you had to go back to imperial measure, you had to add a wee bit. This one, come on down. It's going to open something up. Not really the intended outcome too much. Still leaves shot stone to Team Mewers. Pretty well buried. So an opportunity for Jason Nee to draw another one in.
Yeah, a little unlucky there. They were going for the tap, and it just stayed a touch outside, so didn't really have the weight to move much around or the line to get this tap back into the yellow shot stone.
So Jason Nee looking to make this hit and roll all the way across into the forefoot, trying to work it over a little bit here at the end. It's going to make the hit and spill. That's not so bad of an outcome because it does reduce the number of ways that your opponent has to access. So see what's in their thinking here. Looks like they're going to just run back the red here. Tough shot for Howard. Slid a little bit wide and he brought it back. Did he roll it over a little bit too much? I think he might have. Gonna be tight to the guard. Reckon the guard's okay at this point. We'll open up some real estate to work with.
Yeah, so Team Mewers here. Looks like Queena thinking immediately to just go for that center line guard, but happy if it comes under and gets to the top 12 too.
Yeah, and it's a situation there. It's tough because you could tell that Howard realized that he slid off the broom right as he was kicking out, and then how to try to approximate that back. Shows how this is such a game of muscle memory and repetition.
Never a fun feeling when you get that gut reaction right out of the hack that you're wide and trying to find what it is to throw it back.
And again, nowadays, if you're wide, we have a shot for that. Ozempic.
Just a terrifically placed stone there.
So now Sider's going to go for the run back double here. This one has the weight to do it. Now will it curl on up? It's going to be really close. On the one, knock it back. Do you get two? Oh, it goes just past the side of it. And it's still shot stone for Team Mewers. Really, really close. Unfortunately, we don't have a place in the scoreboard for really close.
Yeah, I think that landed somewhere between a sliver and a hair on the scale there. How close they were to making that.
That was somewhere between a sliver and a hair. Not quite a skosh. Missed it by less than a skosh. So, Quaid and Mewers, take a look here at the here at the overhead. She's just on the back of the button. Good opportunity here to take out this redstone and leave a beautiful center guard. Get a nice 2-for-1 special. This one needs to curl. June's trying to bring it there. Now it's there. Now work it back straight. Gonna get the hit. Don't roll too far. Well, okay, you got to roll undercover and lie too. But you left it wide open for your opponent, so. Opportunity knocking for Team Lee is. Question is, will they answer the door?
Yes, yeah. Oh, you bud. Yeah, okay.
You hear Howard Sider being very positive there to his skip. Oh, you bud, you got this.
You always appreciate the words of encouragement.
The one thing I don't get is I get some teammates that will give me a high five as I skate down. Give me a high five after I made the shot. So the left-hander settles in and throws his first stone of the fourth end. And this one has all the room in the world to curl. They're going to try to coax it back over, but to no avail. That was wide from Jump Street, unfortunately. So it's sitting 1-2 and possibly a biter there up top. But they won't worry about that right now. Just cover it up and preserve what you have. final stone in the end from Mewers. Weight's really good. It's all about lining up well. Don't want to brush it too much more. And that is a pistol. Kind of long. Could be able to work around it, but job one done. The force is on. So this is one of those ones where you just have to realize this is like any other draw to the button that you've ever made. You're not facing three. There's not all these rocks. That top one really isn't even a factor. Just focus on making a nice draw to the back four. Throw T-line weight. Leave it to your brushers. Give them a chance. Get your single and move on to the break all tied up.
The button.
Absolutely, yeah. Not the time you want to get cute here. Just throw your T-line weight. Don't worry about leaving it short.
So here we go, Jason Lee with his final stone of end number 4.
Come help, Howard. Howard, help.
Saying they need Howard to help. Howard is lending that assistance. It needs to carve over if it's ever going to get there. It's going to be really, really close. Brush it all the way. Are you going to get it there? Are you going to get it there? No. And it's a steal of 1 for Team Mewers, and they take a 3-1 advantage.
Was that short?
After 4. We'll be back after the break from the 5 and Under Worlds here from the Pittsburgh Curling Club. So welcome back to the fifth end here. Draw number 2 of the 500 Worlds here for the Pittsburgh Curling Club. A lot of good upcoming events. The Pittsburgh Curling Club registration is open for the annual Tropicurl Bonspiel, which is a very immensely popular 40-team event that's been held here for a number of years. I'm always happy to be a part of it. I got my team in. Do you?
Very good. I think several Pittsburgh people have just registered in the plan of a team, so I'm sure we'll have plenty. I know last check, at least 30 spots were already taken.
It's great times out here. And quite selfishly, the Philadelphia Phillies are in this weekend to play that weekend to play the Buccos, which is driving hotel prices through the roof. A hotel that we usually get for about $139 is looking for about $300.
All those darn Philly fans invading our fair city.
Yeah, well, it's okay. You say yins, we say yous. So, holding a 2-stone lead is Team Mewers here. And, Trevor, what's your impression in the first half of this game?
You know, it's a lot of jockeying for position so far. Everybody playing to the center, playing conservative. Just really a slight advantage to Team Mewers on finding those draws is the difference at the moment.
Yeah, that, and we've seen a few takeout attempts from Team Lee be set out just a little bit wide on their releases, and that's proven to catch up to them here.
Yeah, as we mentioned, and we had the same in our game this morning, the ice so unbelievably keen, just very unforgiving on those hits.
It's certainly we're playing as close as you can get club ice to championship ice here. Conditions are ideal here in Pittsburgh for ice making today. Extremely low humidity, nice cold ambient temperatures outside. So, fifth end is underway on all of our sheets right now. Team Doyen has a 4-1 lead over Team Wysocki. Team Rose has had that deficit cut some by Benja Delamarte, but it is still Rose with a 6-3 lead. And they're calling for a technical time out on sheet C. And over on sheet A, Team Bliven has a 5-1 advantage. And back here, Mac Neaton's going to look to open things up some. They get the run, move 1, 2, and almost all 3. Good night, Nurse. See you later.
Yeah, well executed hit there. They'll sit 1-2, get a couple of those yellows out.
That wasn't bad at all. I'd like to give a shout out to all the folks from the Triangle Curling Club. See you guys all there in the chat. Second stone away from Neaton. He'll make the hit and roll just a touch open. So looking to come on back with a takeout here. Still going to leave a potential counter there. Got to hurry to even get to this one. June's on this one hard. She holds it, gets a hit. Gonna squeak out just on the other side, but does leave half a stone undercovered. So you see the weight call immediately from Jason Lee, a down weight shot. They got on this right off his hand and probably even pulled it out a little bit off of Howard's hand there. Looks to be a little bit of a brushing error there. So on the way from Jason, both teams have their supporters showing up on the chat. Good to see. That one hits and flops out. So the blank end is a possibility again. Now, in the fifth end, Trevor, would you be looking to play the blank end down by 2 here, or would you'd still be trying to look for a deuce?
Yeah, you're getting into that part of the game where those decisions get harder and harder. I think, given the score at the moment, I'm probably okay, and this is the last time I'm probably okay to go for the blank.
It is. Wouldn't be the worst thing to carry that hammer in, but at the same time, they've struggled a little bit to set up their ends. This is a pretty well thrown stone. Going to be difficult to remove. You see their line shot. And Mewers is going to take the strategy of drawing into that pile. You could just fire at this. There's a school of thought that just lose them all, open it back up, but then he would be just handing the blank. At the same time, if you did that, you're also pretty sure to never give up 2.
Yeah, certainly the angle there, you just throw heavy weight at it, and it is pretty likely to spill as long as you catch it at all on the inside.
So here's Mewers with her first stone. This one's going to lose the line with too much more sweeping. Right now it's really good. I just get off of it now, kids. Oh, look at that, yeah. You just nestled that around the line too. Nifty, nifty, nifty.
Yeah, well executed there. Just a nice little bump.
The pile.
Okay.
It's like a 3-9, right? Yeah. Okay.
So you hear the call there, looking for about a 3-9 split time. Just looking to come on down to the pile, so that's from the back line to the tee line. First, the 2 on the way for Jason Lee. Line's beautiful. It just has to get there. They were on this every inch of the way, and they are carrying it for the skipper. Can they hold on to the line? They will hold it for shot stone. And we just kicked a stone out of the way where we shouldn't have. So now the non-defending skip will put it back where it has to go. I feel like that we've all been there at some point and forgot how many rocks were left and kicked one out of the way. Certainly not done with malice. Now, obviously they're doing the very sportsman-like thing and putting the rock back. You could always just actually remove it from play, but you know it was there. Everybody knows it was there. So now Queen of Mewers looking to return the favor on her opponent. Her final stone of end number 5. This one's heavier than her first. Needs to take a bit of line if it's going to get there. Gotta make contact. Doesn't move it far enough. Oh, it just kisses it. And I do believe it moved it far enough that yellow is now sitting 1.
Again.
As you can see there, that yellow rock is just in there a skosh. So let's hear what they're talking about.
Yes, I think with yellow just being shot, trying to hope they can sneak around their red there and just give that yellow a tap.
Trying the cutesy little shot for 2. I think this is a good choice because there you hear the call. Even if you overcurl and wreck on your red, you should be okay for 1. So nifty little shot upcoming here.
Yeah, you got to figure pretty low risk here.
Jason Lee. Final stone of end number 5. Hear the call, back 8. Needs to curl. It's got the line now. Now just have to get on over and just make contact with that yellow. Needs that last little corkscrew. Now you got that. Now do you get the right weight to move it far enough? Looks like you did.
It sure looks like it. Lots of hands up immediately from the team, so they sure think they made it, and looks like there no measurements coming here.
So that's a great shot for Jason Lee. And it is all tied up at 3 after 5. We're back here, red number 6. Second draw of the day here at the 500 World Championships, hosted by the Pittsburgh Curling Club. Dave Schmel and Trevor Matthew with you here. We have a tied up affair between Jason Lee and Queen of Mewers. It was a nifty little shot there with the last for there by Lee to get that deuce. And now, Trevor, I expect to see both teams push hard for a score here.
Yeah, I have to imagine. This is going to get pretty aggressive here now as the teams have both figured out the ice, figured out their weights, and probably more importantly, figured out each other's strategies here.
Take a look at some of the other games on the ice. Team Rose has a commanding 9-3 lead over Team Delamarte. Team Blyven has a 6-2 lead over on sheet A. And Doyen over Wysowski is a 4-3 affair. All these games are in number 6, and you can catch all the feeds right on our YouTube channel.
So Mewers there looking like they know Lee's going to push hard for this end, and they elect to take the draw to the button themselves to start things off.
Yeah, sometimes some of the best way to get there is to get there first. Now, very dependent on how this shot comes down from Lauren. The line looks absolutely gorgeous. We'll just need a couple more pounds of weight. So Ken Doan throwing the lead stones here for Team Mewers. Just rubs the guards. They lie 1-2.
Gives him the old hack weight symbol here of the tap of the foot.
That's pretty well international. Coming on down, needs to come across the face to get any rolls. It's going to be just a little bit on the outside. Still shot stone. Undercover from Mewers. Mewers is sitting one with hammer, calling that same hack weight shot for Jun Shui. From the straight side off to the curl side. Trying to work this one over. Going to make the takeout and leave it right there. Now the angles look awfully tempting here, Trevor, to take a run at this.
That is an awfully juicy looking double there.
I go far as to say it's spicy.
Especially with your own red sitting nicely there in the 8-foot under the guard.
So little weeble wobble there from Mac, but he gets his feet back under him. The line's pretty tight here. Trying to curl it over just a skosh. On the one. Oh, you dead jam it. That's it. Just about where it started. Mewers electing for the corner freeze here. Now this is a setup shot more than anything else. This is how you're going to try to get a little twofer here. Protecting your own stone in the rings and also setting up a multiple score later. On the way from June. Beautiful line. Could have used maybe a 1.5 foot more weight.
Yeah, I think they'd love to see that at least up into the 12-foot or biting the 8-foot there to leave themselves a tap. But
You can't be too mad at that shot.
yeah, certainly one of those where light is not a bad miss. A tight game, you're in an even end. Team Mewers probably happy to play for one here.
Now this shot, a little fraught with peril, because you could jam it if you're not careful. Well, we're certainly not going to jam. We just slide by and we make that peel the hard way. Good shot by Sider. So Mewers gonna come down with the same call as before. You hear the weight call 7-8 coming from June. Looks to be a skosh heavier than that. Don't want to leave it even at the tee line. You want to be behind it. Don't want to leave it right there. You don't want to be there. Well, you're there. All right, so
Tee line.
you're at tee line weight. Power Cider just a little bit out in the broom, and maybe a skosh heavy. Turning in well. You hear back 8 as the call. Needs to come all the way over, and it will remove it. It's still Mewers sitting shot. Okay, take a look at that. Looking just to remove this stone because this is a big danger rock. You wouldn't mind rolling away? Shot from Jason. Gotta hurry to get past the guard. June is on it hard. She gets it. Big sweep out of June there. Shooter does get her all the way through the house. Here's another term you have to skitter. To skitter implies a little bit more speed than a saunter through the house. So let's get into the mind of Jason Lee.
All right, that's fine. I mean, I really don't mind just like sticking.
I don't even hate this and spilling over. So we have some run backs.
Yeah, I mean,
And we own the control zone there. Yeah.
So you see what he was talking about. Just kind of being in the front there, as
See
he
if we
said,
can
in the
tap that
control
yellow.
zone.
Yeah.
Tapping that yellow.
Yeah, really nice discussion there.
Really moves after the
Sometimes,
hog
in
line,
curling,
so
curlers
maybe
get caught
keep
up
your
on
broom down if it's
really always trying to
close.
be shot.
See,
80, 70, 80, 80, 85.
so it's saying about 85, 88.
So a nice discussion there by the skip and his vice, and then the team as well on what they can do to just be in control of the end here.
First to 2 for Jason Lee. This one is curling on them. Can they get past the guard? No, they can't. But, oh, baby.
Well, as he said, that's the shot he didn't hate.
And I don't hate it either, because if you take a look at that, you see both of those stones are runnable now from either turn. So,
Yep, puts Team Mewers in that position of you can't guard everything.
one thing you could do, you might be able to come down with a low weight and come into the middle of those rocks and split them up some.
Sitting in the pocket
See if
would
we
be
can hit
great.
him.
I just don't know how we.
She's reading your mind.
But I mean, sitting in the pocket, they still have both shots. Like you can, right? For that one,
Sitting right there in the pocket.
They have to
I do
limit
agree with the
that.
vice there. You got to hit him with some weight, or they still have both shots available.
Oh, I definitely agree there.
We have to, take one and then.
Do you want to do this or do you want to come in? That's really the question.
Guard and then
Okay.
coming out your next
Okay.
leg. Because
Where do you want the guard position?
Okay, so they're going to settle on the guard here.
Okay. Right there.
Looking to put one just in the top of the 12-foot in front of the third
I
shot
do not have
stone.
a stabilizer. Sam, I need a stabilizer.
Does not have her favorite stabilizer. Here it comes. Beautiful in-turn delivery of that stabilizer down the ice.
What is the weight on it?
4 seconds?
Okay.
Yeah. It's better right than, yeah.
Team Mewers has 7.5 minutes left in both of their timeouts. One of their timeouts. This one needs to go to get there. One thing that I've learned is it can't be there if it never gets there. Did not get there.
Yeah, I made a similar mistake in the 8th end of my game this morning.
Yeah, we were featuring C and you were on A. I was only able to catch pieces of it, buddy, but it was a fun game to watch, the little slivers I did.
Close game, always fun to get to go against a team from our friends up north and have a battle with the Canadians.
Our friends from Canada are closer than we may think sometimes. So here's Jason Lee with his final stone of end number 6. This one has all the heat. They're looking to just tap this red back onto the yellow, we hope. It's going to be on the red, off the yellow. doesn't leave much real estate there for Mewers. Can draw full 4 for 2. That's the one and only call. So right now, every crotchety skip in every curling club is saying, well, if you can't draw the 4 foot with your eyes closed, you got no business skipping.
Yeah, tough position here to get to, but there is room.
We just need to throw that perfect draw. If only I knew someone who could do that on demand. Final stone of the 6th end from Mewers. Gotta get it there. Really close. Can he drag it those last few inches? No, you can't. It's only going to be a single point. And it is. 4-3 after 6 ends of play. We're back from Pittsburgh in just It's 7th end action here from the 500 World Championship, hosted by the Pittsburgh Curling Club. Dave Schmel and Trevor Matthew here with you. It was a single point for Queen of Mewers. They hold a 4-3 lead entering end number 7. Team Lee has the hammer. Now we're going to see our strategery come into play here, because I'm pretty sure that Jason would love to carry the hammer forward. But the 5-rock rule doesn't make blank ends particularly easy anymore. Lauren Hipp looking to put the guard up. It's a corner guard ish, center-ish.
Yeah, I'd call that a solid-ish.
It's lots of ishes. It's all the ishes. Some people are saying it's the ishiest thing ever. So looking to bring this second one in. No problem with directing play into the rings here for Team Mewers. It is just a biter. So now Jason Lee is going to take this opportunity to remove it, because it can be removed. The double is there too if it curls up just a touch. Howard's going to try to walk it over a little bit. Now back for straight. Got to be really close here on the first one, just past the second one. And you do leave your shooter as a guard. Ask June to put the guard back up. Good toss by June there. Might be a skosh tighter than they would have liked. You might be able to see the shot stone from the outturn side, but that's not in Jason's mind right now. He's going to throw the peel. Danger in doing this is that you kind of give them the opportunity for them to make a better one on you. Nick did not like that one off his hand. And we're going to find out why in a moment, because it is past everything. Can they get lucky off their own? It goes wicky-whack and leaves 2 yellow in the middle.
Yeah, it looked like just a little bit of a tailspin slide there. Kind of caught his foot on the hack as he was flipping off, and it just threw him a hair sideways and tried to recover, but that's always difficult to do on the move.
So the guard coming back from Jim. Now this one is going to overcurl. And that is wide open. Double takeout of the slash variety is available. McNeaton. Better slide this time. There's a much better looking slide. Unfortunately, it was still offline. We'll come back and get the other one. Oh, probably almost better that you didn't. But here comes the guard back. And so if you're Jason Lee, Trevor, when do you hit Control, Delete, and say it's time to get out of this?
You're certainly approaching that territory here. I think especially depending on where this guard ends up, but if this ends up in a nice place, I think you're forced to start trying to open things up.
I think Howard Sider's got to put his hitting shoes on. Apparently his hitting shoes are bright orange.
That is an impressive set of curling shoes.
Now, I have several friends who wear Syracuse orange, but that's even more orange than Syracuse orange. That is right there. I work for the Department of Transportation orange. Howard puts this down with no shortage of weight. It's going to remove one. See what it gets on the way by. On the one on the second one, stuff everything right there. And you left it pretty much the way you found it, but you don't have any friendly rocks there anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately, you left the same number there basically, but traded colors. And that's going to let Mewers try to put up a third there. And that'll leave 5 yellows to try and deal with.
And we have our first final of the draw. It is Team Blyven with the victory. They win by a score of 7-2. Jason, they threw a pretty good guard there. There does appear to be a 1.25 stone port there through the middle. I think you got to throw it and if you wiki whack on something on the way there, you might be able to make it, and if you throw it heavy enough, just skitter through on the way by.
Absolutely, yeah. You put enough weight behind that, even if you thin one of those, you might hit them both out or just break your way right on through.
Now, the advantage to throwing this turn is if you hit it on this side, you're going to leave yourself a draw path. And that's a very sensible thing. This is going to go right down Broadway. Is it going to go through the port? Really close through the port. Yes, it does. It gets the one, and it skitters all the way back and hangs on to the back 12. Shotstone still for Team Mewers. So one shot only. Throw a guard, right? Don't see anything else that seems tremendously interesting here.
Yeah, I don't think, really at this point, much point in Team Mewers playing with any sense of aggressiveness here.
Top 8 is actually really great.
Ooh.
Okay. On this side, we haven't been here for
But
a while.
she's going to get aggressive.
She's going to come right on in and lag two. Try to step on the throat right here. This one is out in the weeds just a touch. I just don't think it's going to get there. It's been quite some time since we've thrown a draw down that direction. Big brush, though. Does not end up being the second shot. They do lie first and third. Does have the advantage of clogging up the draw path for Team Lee some. My question to you, Trevor, is do you feel bold and daring enough to take that port on and maybe throw the intern?
That is a tricky decision. You did just nail it, but you threw the opposite turn.
With control? Yeah. All right. You drive a semi through there.
They're obviously quite confident in the size of that.
So it'll be Jason's out turn, being the left-hander. Through the port. You can drive a semi through there, he said. Big shot. You just have to.
By hitting the right one if we're going to miss. We don't want to hit the left one.
You don't want to think about missing. Just throw it.
Absolutely. Don't put the negative thought in your head there.
Through the port. Here we go.
There you go.
That's the positive energy. Jason Lee with his first. Gonna have to hurry. It's on the guard. Ooh. And you take out your own hanger on there on the way by. Leave your opponent sitting 1 and 2. So now you see Queen of Mewers.
On, like right on the edge.
Looks like she's going to draw another one in there, Trev.
Yeah, I think I like that call. It is a dead straight run back there.
Tap very lightly or
It's long,
12.
but
No, top 12 is fine. It's like either guarding it or like tapping it is fine. But I do not want to be heavy.
Similar weights.
There you go. Queen Mewers with her final stone event number 7. They picked this up right out of her hand. She is not heavy. That much is certain. Got to try to hold that line out there. Get it across the hog line. It's still effective. And it is just across.
You're playing for the state here? This is hammer. I mean, what's the
So you
what's,
see
there's
Howard
really no
was thinking
downside of
about-
trying this versus hitting that because it's just a one
Throw back line at this.
back line.
I think you have it because of the way those are stacked.
I think the straight draw is safer.
Yes. But I think it's going to be. I mean, I think if you're going to do the straight draw, it's
So you see
Yeah,
they're
at
discussing the straight draw and
Okay.
the back line
But I
shot.
won't be able to see any of that from my hat.
all right, let's
The
do
back
this.
line. Okay.
Draw.
Yeah, so you hear him concerned that he's not going to be able to see
Oh,
any
wait,
of the
you wanna
shot
see?
rock.
Okay.
Yeah, certainly won't be able to see anything there. And
Well, he does throw out the left-handed hack. You get a little bit better
We need a
angle on it.
draw. Well, no, just a piece of the floor.
okay. The draw is the safest shot here, certainly. You can nail it and tie this thing up, or as long as you get down to that yellow, cut it down to 1 and hope you can put something together with hammer in the 8th end.
So just looking to catch a piece of the forefoot is Jason Lee. Final stone of the 7th. Gotta hurry past this guard. Now you're past the first one. Are you going to make it past the second one? And the answer is no, you will not. Can you slide into the house far enough? Nope, it's a steal of 2. And that will be an 6-3 lead coming home. We'll be back from Pittsburgh. Back here from the 500 Worlds Pittsburgh Curling Club, Dave Schmel, Trevor Matthey. Happy to have you here with us today. It is Team Mewers holding a 3-stone lead here in the final end. Jason Lee and his squad from Triangle are going to have to dig deep to try to find a 3 spot here to tie it up. And that end, it just looks like that Jason just kept on pushing and kept on pushing and never really decided when discretion would have been the better part of valor.
Yeah, sometimes there's something to be said for who can not necessarily execute their strategy, but who can change strategy at the correct time.
The ability to pivot is so key in curling. So now they need to set up some guards. Muir brings the first one right on into the house. Some people would have thrown that through too. That would have been fine.
Yeah, in a situation there, if you're Mewers, just don't ever give him a guard.
Oh, I have a good friend who plays lead for me often at Spiels, and often when I say those words, precisely what follows is a guard. So now I just say, Bert, throw it through. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to throw him under the bus there. That's a nicely executed shot right there. It does nibble the rings, but really, Jason can't do too much with it. I mean, yeah, you can hit it, but you could have had to skid it underneath your own guard here. But this one is out a little bit on the outside.
Yeah, certainly not coming across there to get under the guard.
Gonna make contact. Will you get the one in the back? Nope. You will nibble the rings, but a couple choices here.
We can take this out and roll.
Seems like the good call. It looks like they're throwing the. They settle on the draw or the takeout. We'll find out momentarily. That looks very drawish.
Line's good. Line's good. Ken's round. Ken, yes, push it, Ken. We're on the red right now. Up.
That's going to curl in just fine. Settle on down to shot rock.
This is fine.
Yeah, they'll go
fine.
for the freeze now and try to take it in.
Not bad at all. They lie 1-2. Now, Trevor, for me, I would have taken off that biter there because I'm just in red removals mode right now.
I'm the same way, especially up 3. If the score's a little tighter, maybe you think about scoring on your own just so nothing crazy happens. But up 3, just run red out of rocks.
So now throwing the upweight shot here is McNeaton. You need to hit these. You got to keep the shooter around. You do. You notice that you lie second and third right now. So now we're back to the call, which we could have made a rock ago.
Yeah, the downside there to putting those 2 yellows is it leaves exactly that, where red can trade 1 and then come back and do it again and be the one sitting 2.
So June's just a touch outside on this one. They're going to try to sweep it over, but there's no pushing anything when it's up that hot. Mentioned in our first drill that Eugene Ritzik is doing a lot of study as to the directional sweeping, and one thing that he shared with me when I played with him in Minnesota is that every sheet of ice has a critical weight where pushing is ineffective and it's actually almost going to be counterproductive.
Yes, certainly. Anecdotally, I would agree with that 100%. It always seems like there's that border somewhere between control and normal that you're just making it go further faster.
And that's always what we were trained as we were, quote unquote, grew up in the game, that sweeping makes it go further on the direction it's already going. So it only stands to reason if it's going in the vertical axis at a much higher velocity, you're going to start to amplify that component of the vector. This one's coming down with certainly a lot of velocity. He'll get one. Oh, that sneakily gets the one out the top. That's a fancy schmancy double right there.
Yeah, not too often you see a double take out by taking the stone backwards up the sheet.
So now Howard Sider, a little bit of a weeble wobble there. This one curling heavily, trying to get undercover. It's not going to get undercover. Could be wide exposed, so it's going to be interesting to see what choice that Queen makes here. Trevor, I just feel like you had to leave that light or sweep it 4 feet further back.
Yeah, agreed. I think they got just caught a little in between there, and you'd love to see that light up in the top 12 or all the way buried.
Yeah, when you're trying to score multiple points, having one light in the back of the house is not a bad thing. So now Jason Lee looking to make this double takeout himself. It's looking pretty close. Right down Broadway. 1 and 2. Bang, bang. There they go. By the time you're done, it's just 2 yellows there, and tough spot for Jason Lee. Gotta listen. Yeah, listen to here. Three rocks left. You got to score 3. They're to call their timeout. Their coach is coming onto the ice. Their coach is
We've got
Cameron
3 rocks
Kim.
left, and we have to score 3.
Cameron Kim's been curling for about 10 years. First got his start out in the Bay Area Curling Club.
This to here.
I met him his first year he was curling.
I mean, the issue is they can remove any rock right now, right?
All right. So freeze to this.
Yeah, I think you freeze there right now. If you even can freeze a little bit, a little bit.
Just barely corner freeze.
Yeah, you might be able to get it under.
Ever on this, aren't they just throwing normal?
Yeah, so yeah, I think you gotta get nose.
It's got to be dead nose. Yeah.
Worst case, but if it over curls, then it will tap the 5 back, right?
But here's, I guess my question is, do you ever want this, make them play some sort of chase thing, if they miss it,
I think it's a little short.
it's a little short?
Yeah.
Alright, so let's cut it right here.
And if it over curls, right? Over curl, we just kind of move that 5 back, create kind of that wall, and then we're gonna have to kind of get a miss out of it.
Yeah. So ice-wise, we're thinking this.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you like this ice?
I think it should be close. Better way to take a little less, right?
So Cam's had his say. He's going to return back to the safety of the warm room.
A nice discussion there on just the perfect placement this freeze is going to have to be. Any sort of over curl, and you have to hope you over curl all the way into the other Yellowstone.
And they discussed that it had to go basically be dead nose because there's no place to run or no place to hide right now. Possibly could have drawn one undercover. But ultimately to build this in, they feel like welding to the one in place, way to go. So here's the final stone from Sider. This is down to the pile. How much separation? You don't want to move it much. You just want to nestle in. Oh, and you're just kind of in between.
Kind of exactly in that no man's land they did not want to end up in.
And that is right in between Magneto's poles. So get a
Relatively hard, but I'm not as
another
worried about
thought
that,
here.
but,
I
like, here's fine, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
I would say kind of.
Call
yeah,
me
like
simple,
here.
Trevor, and I'm sure you will. But you just hit the red.
Yeah, if we're a little heavy, we can tap them
I-
out, but yeah.
Agree 100%. I think it's of no consequence because if you hit your own it's
We have a timeout
going to
for
be
my
sitting in
last
front
shot,
of their
so
red,
don't
and they're
worry
not going to
about
have a way to remove it anyway.
it. All good. We want to sit in that pocket, basically, if we can.
So the call's to sit in the pocket. First
Certainly,
stone
either
on the
one
way.
will make it difficult.
It certainly will if you make it.
We'll watch this from the house view here and see as it comes in.
Comes on across the hog line. Can they drag it all the way down? It's running out of handle. It just kind of ground in there as it lost handle there at the end. But still, no easy task for Team Lee. They have 1 minute and 18 seconds left in their clock with 2 stones left to play. So time to talk about it, but can't write the Gutenberg Bible.
Leaving that yellow short does still just leave a slight window of opportunity here open.
All right, so Lee's on his way down. He needs to weld one in here, I think.
Yeah, I think you have to get right to that yellow.
Another final score here, despite a steal by Delamonte. It was Team Rose with the victories. Congratulations to them. So now here's Jason Lee with his first of 2 here in the 8th. Got to keep himself alive. Gonna have to get past that guard. You're there now. Needs to hit something to slow down. They do. Okay, they sit shot stone. It is somewhat buried.
Okay.
So let's see what
Timeout.
they're thinking here.
Okay. Don't you think?
Timeout is called.
Problem is like if you do that,
Do you want me to just do the same shot and block them?
Yeah.
I think that's more dangerous because they have 2 in.
I think the problem is
You,
too wide.
you
I
hear
would come this way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like either way, you don't have much support, and if you drag on any of the guard,
Okay. Do you want to come the same way then? Give me more. Give me more. Yeah. More line. Yeah. I either want to
Interesting the way
be
this is
here,
finishing up. Some risk
out
here
here,
either way,
wanna
potentially, if they
hit it.
don't choose to just straight hit.
yet.
Do you want to be here? Yeah.
I'd be
Yeah.
lying if I wasn't saying I was confused.
Yeah. Okay. Then edge of 8.
I'm often confused. I mean, this happens all the time to me. So big shot
Honestly,
here for Queen
a
of
3
Mewers.
guard is great.
So you hear the call there. Honestly, a 3 guard is great. So here we go. Queen of Mewers. Her final stone of the 8th. This does not have all the line in the world. It's going to over curl. Now the question is, will it come up far enough? Team Lee has their shot figured out. They're going to try to throw this double takeout. So what you got to do is you had to come across the face of the one of the 8-foot, peel that out, remove the one behind it. It'll go pretty much automatically and hold your shooter. 10 seconds left in the clock. Should have plenty of time to get this off, a la Kevin Cooey. Final stone and number 8. This is really close. They got Mac on it hard. Got to come on down past the guard. You make contact with the first one. Gillet's second one, no, not at all. It needed to be held straight a little bit more. and it will be a win for Team Mewers. Make the final score 7-3. And congratulations to them. And Trevor, that got exciting there in the end.
It certainly did. Interesting. Mewers electing to throw those draws instead of taking it out red, and Team Lee almost able to make that amazing hero shot there to come back. But well played by both teams across the board.
Absolutely. And so that's going to wrap it up for right now. We'll be back at 4 p.m. Eastern. So from the Pittsburgh Curling Club right now, for Trevor Matthew, I'm Dave Schmel. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you more with more action from the 5 Under Worlds a little bit later.